Everybody, I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Bridgerton, Season 2, Episode 4.
Victory.
For who?
Edwina, I guess.
And Prudence, I guess.
Ugh. We've gone a place that it's going to be hard to come back from. I also realized something while we were watching this episode that leads me to believe Eloise's story is going to be quite different than the books. So,
what was her damage? Okay, no, so I get it. That guy was hot, and he was giving her stuff to work with. What was her? She doesn't want it.
She just doesn't want it, and then he was a dick at the end.
With what?
He grabbed her.
Oh.
And then he was just angry and an asshole. No. You can only be so hot. He wasn't that hot.
Well, because I like that he called her out because he was trying to talk to her because he was under the impression that that's what she was there for. And she was like, I'm counting my steps. And then
she's not good at dancing.
But then he like suggested something.
Well, she started going for the conversation that he like offered, but then he said something about, you've read John Locke? Or it was something about John Locke, and he was like, yeah, it's like required reading for men of a certain age. And he was like, I've never met a girl that's done it though, or whatever. And she was like, oh, because our feeble minds. And it was like, Violet can't be springing shit like that on Eloise either.
Sure. But that wasn't even it. It was like he caught her at her own game because she said something about conversation. And he was like, I suppose we should be quiet so you can count your steps. That's what I meant.
Okay.
And I thought that was fine. But yeah, Violet shouldn't be springing that stuff on.
I just like at this point, she's known Eloise for 18 years. She should like.
So I thought Eloise, I did like how she like positioned that, how she phrased it, where she was like, my like spirited nature isn't a quality that
it's not a costume
that I've like acquired to catch a mate. She was like, it's my attempt at fleeing this.
Yeah. It's also just like her true personality in a way that
there's just like, it seems like the Bridgertons have so much money and such good standing, and there's 8 of them. I mean, 1 or 2 of them can afford to be like an artist and a spinster.
Yeah. Also, Daphne's already married a duke. Like, we're good.
But I feel like Penelope's laying it on a little thick. She's very with the Lady Whistledown stuff.
Oh.
She's like not quite a mustache twirly thing, but she's always talking about it. And she's always very like defensive or very like, well, I think.
Yeah, it was the one thing I worried about when we found out who Lady Whistledown was so early. I was like, this is going to just cause like hijinks that I don't need or want. And like, on the one hand, I'm interested in her having sort of, what the fuck word am I looking for?
Material?
Acquired the modiste. Enlisted. That's the word I'm looking for. I like that part of it. But you're right, where it's just like, she just sort of is sometimes going up to Eloise being like, what did you think about Lady Whistledown now? And it's like, come on, man.
And she also was in pink in this episode because Portia's always putting her in yellow.
And orange.
It was cute.
Yeah.
We had a plot with it was so the Bridgertons were throwing a flower ball or something. What do they call it?
Yeah, the hearts and flowers ball.
Yeah, they were throwing a party, so they were back at the country house, and everybody was there.
Yeah, they're still at the country house. It's like for like over a week. It's people come and stay, and they have like a week in the country.
I thought that first scene they were back in the. No. Okay. So it was fun. Colin.
Oh, I see what you mean. No, the Featheringtons were still in the city. But everybody was arriving. The Sharmas got to go there early because of Edwina. So
Colin went to go visit Marina because he had. I
think it ended in an okay place, and I
had kind of forgotten. Like so she had gotten pregnant by a man she was in love with who was a soldier, and he died.
Yeah,
and this was his brother who came to like do the right thing.
Yep.
And she seems to be
totally unhappy.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Oh. He was cute and she had a nice place to live. I don't know. I feel like I would be more suited for this.
So she told Colin, I'm content with my children. And she basically was like, you're a boy, because the Bridgertons all believe in love and literally no one else does.
falling in love with love is falling for make-believe.
So, but no, she doesn't care about him or his plants or anything. She's not happy in her marriage.
So
She's
then
like not a good situation.
So then so is this plot going to be ongoing? I thought that was the closing of that.
It better be.
Of that book.
Yeah.
And okay.
Oh God, I just realized so many things. Yeah, okay. There's like things they're ruining the books.
Which is why I'm like, I don't care.
No, I just like okay, we've talked about this before when we've done adaptations. And the thing is like I am absolutely enjoying this as an adaptation. I think it's great. I'm having so much fun. But because of things that have already been set in motion, I am disappointed about things I'm not going to see.
Well, you don't know you can be disappointed about that when it's over.
Well,
because you never know how they're going to do it. Because even the bee thing, you were like, well, I don't understand this at all. And literally seconds in the episode, you're like, oh, so just watch the show, maybe.
No. I understand what
you refuse.
No, okay. No. I don't refuse. I understand what you mean, but literally someone else can't marry someone because someone already did.
Uh-huh.
And that's twice now. So.
And we never found out what happened to Jenny. What was her name in Game of Thrones? The one that they thought was Arya that they sent to
Jane.
Oh, Jane.
Yeah, they thought she was Sansa.
Yeah.
Well, in the book, whatever. I'm not getting into a Game of Thrones conversation right now.
Well, because I do think the Colin and the Penelope thing is cute, but it's thus far incredibly one-sided, and I don't know that I think it has legs to carry. Like,
I mean, it does in the books.
Does it?
And Marina specifically was like, you have all these people, you have Penelope, you have like this and that and the other, and and he seemed to leave with like an understanding. And then when he was talking to Penelope, he was like, I just don't know though. She doesn't seem happy. What should we do? And I'm like, leave her alone.
Anthony and Kate are still playing their games.
Mm-hmm.
They're still stringing Edwina along.
Kate is trying really hard not to.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying it, but there's not much to analyze.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you would expect, what you think you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the fleeting glances and the like almost kisses.
And the
then,
sexy dance.
Like, and then discovered to dancing on my own, which is didn't work there. Because it wasn't from the perspective of Edwina, so I appreciate Robin at any point, but I was like, this isn't.
It would have worked better if that's what Anthony and Edwina were dancing to, and Kate was off to the side, or if that was the moment that Edwina realized they were in love.
That's what I mean. Like
Lady Danbury realized in that moment, but like Edwina is still totally clueless. And getting more clueless by the second because he fucking proposed to her at the end of this episode. I don't know what we're going to do, man. I don't know how we're getting out of this one.
Yeah, so Penelope did catch him
Daphne.
Daphne did catch him and Kate, and she kind of...
Mid-embrace.
Yeah, she kind of let him have it.
Daphne was totally right, and she feels like she did the right thing at the end, but then he literally was like, well, I know what I must do, and Daphne was like, he's going to marry Kate. And she was like, I washed my hands of the situation. And then he was like, no, I'm going to dig myself further into denial.
So what is the plot contrivance? Because I remember that, like, in order for them to get their money, they have to do what their grandparents...
So I actually think I had it wrong. I think in order for Kate and Mary to get money, Edwina has to marry a nobleman.
They won't accept Kate because she's not theirs, I suppose?
Yeah.
Okay.
She belongs to the father.
But what does that matter if Kate marries a nobleman and that, like, if Kate marries Anthony, they'll get money from the
Then they'll be out of the Sheffields.
Like, yeah. So clutches. How is that not ideal? Or is that part of the it feels like a contrivance. I'm more than willing to let it like
it's not ideal, but also Anthony is not the only nobleman around. There are lords aplenty.
You wouldn't know it.
I don't really know why.
We're enjoying this.
No, I am. I really am so much. But I don't understand. I don't understand what they've done to Edwina's character because she's not like this in the book. And it's actually probably the only thing I'm genuinely upset about in this adaptation is that she's sort of simpering and like just kind of like naive and foolish in a way that she's not really like that in the book, and so it's making her come off in like a less interesting way to me.
I don't think she's less interesting. I think she's a girl. Like, I think she's young. And
well, I don't know, the book manages to do that without it feeling the way that it feels right now. Like, she just all of a sudden is single-minded about Anthony in a way that it feels bizarre to me.
Well, he's giving her enough to work with because Kate had talked
is.
her out of it. Like, Kate was like, we'll just go back to London and find somebody else. It'll be easy.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay. And then he's giving her enough to work. I mean, it's a tale as old as time. But no, I think it works because he's 30 and she's presumably 18. You know what I mean? Like,
zoinks.
I mean, that's the way.
I know. I don't like it.
The way these things went. I like the Featheringtons. I like Portia. I think it's interesting. I think it's funny. But it was a little dunderheaded in this episode. But Portia basically made Prudence and Cousin Jack, because she won't stop calling him Cousin Jack. She made them go to the orangery.
Yeah.
Is that I mean, I guess it's a thing. It just sounded like, very made up.
No, they like grow oranges inside in England so they can have
It's oranges. Next to the falconry.
Well, it's like the falconry is real too. It's just like a greenhouse, but it's for fruit trees.
And jasmine.
Yeah.
She made them go there and talk to each other, and then she corralled.
Yeah.
She corralled a bunch of people. She ran in and was like, "Oh my stars!" and just like facilitated this entire thing. And that fucking group was more than willing to
go along. I actually will give Portia a little bit of credit because either last episode or the one before, she tried to talk to Jack and she was like, "We should be in cahoots because I can really help you. We can help each other." And he just didn't tell her what was going on.
Yes, I was going to say, I'm fine with Portia being foiled because she's a little bit of a, I won't say villain, she's an antagonist. Yeah. However, I don't like that she's dumb, and I don't think she should be dumb. Like,
well, so in this instance, I think any idiocy on her part is a direct like relation to him not giving her the information.
Sure, but I can also see him not wanting to admit that because he's grifting as well.
Turns out he's broke.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Well, congratulations, you'll be penniless." And she's like, "Oh, you can't threaten me now." And he's like, "It's not a threat. I have no mines. Like, there's no money."
And the necklace he gave to Cressida was fake.
And he was like, "I was trying to marry her because they have money. And that's the only way that we'll be able to like move forward." And she was like, "Well, fuck." And it's like, she's forgotten she has a third daughter. You can't be putting any effort into Penelope. Like, come on.
She's a wallflower. She's chubby and there's no value there. Because that's what I said. I was making a joke because I said that earlier where I was like, she's so pretty.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, she's probably not going to be getting the stud, but there's probably some charming, like, doofy, like, lord out there who would be pleased to have her. Like,
and who would be too dumb to realize she's Lady Whistledown.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I think she's great. So I think that that she is an untapped resource.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, I want the queen back. So.
Well, we're going back to town. There have been 2 engagements while we were away. Kate and Anthony went hunting. They love each other. And
I kind of thought that. I mean, I get it. Of course, I get it. But I thought that was a little bit irritating because it was like she was like trying to win and he was going through the social motions.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like, it's not actually about.
We don't have to go catch our dinner,
yeah,
Kate.
It's like they're performing masculinity. Yeah. So, and
well, it was sort of arranged for her to go with because Edwina wanted them to make friends. And she was like, "Kate hunts, take her with you." And so it was, I don't know. Benedict remains hilarious. He's very fun. I'm into it.
So
I'm excited to see, because right now, everything is out of order and we are past the point in the book where everything has been arranged. So I'm very curious to see what the back half of the season looks like.
So, okay. Well, we're going to watch the next episode and we will see you then.
Bye.